So what is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. We know about the abject disaster that's going on at General Motors right now and the NHTSA investigation involving 877,000 V8 engines, the 6.2 and the 5.3. And I had a business owner reach out to me to tell me about their experience between General Motors and Toyota. So shout out to Steve for sending me this email. I'm not going to publish this whole thing, but I'm going to go over it and I'm going to talk about it because I feel like American auto manufacturers can learn something here. And I've had the same experience, and I'll tell you why. Now, I'm not going to say that Toyota's perfect. I've seen what they've done with some of their performance cars, kind of leaving people to hold a fat L with some of their GR cars that have caught on fire. So Toyota's not perfect in that vein. I'm only giving you personal experience for vehicles that I've had with them. We'll talk about them towards the end of the video. But let me get into this email. TK, I watched your video on YouTube a few days ago regarding the Toyota and Chevrolet engine issues. I had an interesting experience with both companies and I thought I would share it with you. I owned a land surveying company in Florida about 30 minutes east of Tallahassee. In my truck fleet, I had a Chevy 3500 with the 6.0 engine in it that had about 83,000 miles on it. That's actually not bad for that engine. That's not a lot at all. That truck experienced the dreaded AFM, active fuel management, displacement on demand, in case you don't know what that is, lifter collapse. While one of my surveys crews was heading to a job site, they pulled over, called me immediately, so we had it towed to Champion Chevrolet in Tallahassee, where the truck was purchased new. The service department at that dealership called and said it was an internal engine issue and they would need to charge me between $1,000 and $1,500 to pull the engine apart and determine the extent of the damage. A survey crew not working cost me more than $1,000 per day in billing, so I told them to proceed. So let me pause here for a minute. So I get that, right? So that's the Chevy experience, or the part of the issue with the Chevy engines. Full disclosure, if you're having an issue like that with the Chevy engine, before you take it to a dealership, if you're already out of warranty and they're telling you that you need an engine anyway, don't tear it down yet. There are multiple procedures on YouTube to pop that stuck or collapsed lifter. So just do a quick YouTube search. There's a ton of videos on it. They use an air tool to do it. And it literally just gets it to pop back up. And sometimes it doesn't fall back down and you can actually get a tune and turn active fuel management off and not have any more issues. I'm just saying that for people that haven't seen that. If you didn't know, I've done videos about that here on the channel on how to turn active fuel management off without a tune, using your transmission. If you have a 6L80, it's very easy to do. If you have an older one that's a 4-speed, it's a different procedure. You're going to need a tune for that. There's like edge tuning and all different other stuff. But let me get back into this email. Chevrolet's experience. So truck broke. It's now at the dealer, right? A few days later, they called back and said the motor needed to be replaced, which would be between $10,000 and $15,000. I'd have slapped somebody if they told me shit. I'm sorry. Oh. They also said that no changes or improvements had been made to the new motors to correct this situation. You know what's crazy? Even the service managers know that the new motors are bad from active fuel management. They know that they suck. Oh. So I would be getting another exact copy of the same motor that they pulled out of the truck. I asked about any warranty or help from Chevrolet. It was told that neither was available. At that point, I called the manager of the dealership's sales department, who happened to be the same person who sold me the truck a couple years prior. He also knew that my surveys company had purchased 4 more Chevrolet pickup trucks from them to outfit our crews. He took a couple of days to talk with the management team at the dealership, then called back and offered me $15,000 trade on his truck, on any truck they had on their lot. The dealership would also write off the $1,000 to $1,500 charge to tear down the engine that I owed for the original teardown. Chevrolet wanted me to trade for a new truck and showed me several, but I did not trust the V8 engines in those trucks, and I traded for a used 2016 V8 Toyota Tundra 4x4 they had on their lot. That truck is still running today. Now, I know you're going to say, well, so the Toyota finally broke, right, TK? No. This is all about this new crap and emissions crap that I keep telling you is destroying engines. It's horrible. Anyways, Toyota's experience. This is a more recent set of events. The repair portion was all within the past 6 months. As my business continued to grow, I purchased a new 2022 Toyota Tundra 4x4 from a dealership just north of me in Thomasville, Georgia. The truck has the twin-turbo V6 that Toyota is now having issues with. Uh-oh. This truck ran for a year or two in my business and accumulated about 82,000 miles. When I received a call from my crew who was working out of town, they called and said the truck was making odd noises from the engine that got louder if they went over 55 miles an hour. I told the crew to go to the nearest auto repair shop and have that shop check it out. I also called the Toyota dealership service department and left a message for the person who normally maintained this truck for me. The auto shop where the crew had the truck checked it, said the oil was full and new, so there's no glitter or nothing on the dipstick, right? But the noise was coming from the lower part of the motor and was probably a serious issue. They thought the truck would hold together long enough for the crew to make it back to the office, which was about 2 hours of drive time. The Toyota dealership also called back and suggested having the truck towed. By then, the crew was already on the way to the office, so I let them come ahead. The following Monday, we limped the truck to the dealership in Thomasville and asked them to check it out. The word was out about the trouble with the Toyota motors, so I told the service rep that I thought I had one of the bad engines. He confirmed our suspicions, but said Toyota had not issued a service bulletin or recall yet. He could not act on this issue until he received instructions from corporate office. To get my crew running again, he gave me a 2024 Toyota Tundra from their lease program to drive at no charge. Surveying in general is very hard on trucks, so I did not give this to my vehicle crews. Instead, I gave them my 2018 Ram diesel to drive, and I drove the loaner truck. After 2 to 3 weeks, Toyota issued a recall on their motors, and the service rep called to say they would fix it as soon as they could get an engine at no cost to me. They had one other truck in their shop with the same issue, so they needed 2 motors. The entire process took a little over 2 months, but I kept driving the loaner truck free of charge. Toyota replaced my motor, and the truck has been back in service for about 3 weeks so far. My overall assessment is that Chevrolet knows they have a long-term serious problem with their V8 engines, but refuses to offer any recall, warranty, or real fix to the problem. Replacing one bad engine with another bad engine is not a real solution. Toyota also now has major engine issues, but they stood behind their product and also made sure I could keep working until we arrived at a solution. That's interesting. Shout out to Steve. He's the owner of his business. I don't know if he wants me to give out his company's name, so I won't put him on blast. But it just goes to, if you treat people right as a company, like if you make it a company policy. I'll give you a quick story because I know we're already long on this video. But A lot of people asked why I bought a Mustang and a Lincoln Navigator and a Lincoln Continental, and what else did I buy? And I had the GT350, right? Oh, it was the P51 Mustang, and then I got the GT350. Anyways, I bought those vehicles because Lincoln had this thing called the Black Label program, right? I bought the Navigator first, right? And when it was time for me to get service or something, I didn't even have to take it to a dealership. Like, they showed up with a truck, or a service person would come bring me another car, leave it, get my keys, and take my truck to the service department. Go do whatever they had to do, and then come back, leave my vehicle, take their vehicle, and bounce. I mean, great service, right? When I did have an issue, because it had the crap EcoBoost garbage engine in it, I took it to the service department. They gave me the same vehicle to drive. They had it for like a month and a half. They had to replace some major component or whatever it is on the engine. Service, it's great. People ask all the time, well, TK, why do you buy BMWs? Now, to be honest, BMW in my area here in Vegas kind of sucks because it's owned by AutoNation. But like Fields in Illinois and Florida, was it Brahmins in Miami? Always great. I mean, you go in, they're making sandwiches, like gourmet coffee. Now, granted, you're paying for that when you buy these vehicles. But when you're buying some of these trucks, like the Ram, right? They're 100 grand, 80, 90 grand trucks. You think you get an $80,000, $90,000 experience in customer service out of that truck. Something that I think Tim Kuniskis can learn at Ram from the Chevy and the Toyota experience. I got to be honest with you. I almost bought one of these V8 Toyota Tundras before I got this Ram. I almost did. I almost bought a Tundra. This is a used Tundra, 2016 or 2015. But I know how good the 5.7 Hemi can be if you maintain it properly. Not saying that Toyotas aren't. I mean, they have million-mile trucks, but it's also like, I don't know, the interior in the Laramie Longhorn is just a little bit better than what I see in even the top-tier Tundra trucks. I'm sorry. Anywho's. It's a learning experience for brands. GM could learn a lot from Toyota. And it's not like they've never not worked together before, because they did. They've had technology sharing agreements. They've worked together before. And I just hope that, General Motors kind of gets their proverbial shit together when it comes to these V8 engines. They know they have a problem. They've asked for the guidance from EPA. I'm hoping Zeldin responds and DOT responds to them, and they talk about, increasing the warranties on their new trucks, which they'll be able to do because they're just going to delete the active fuel management and make them much better vehicles. But that was a real-world customer email on their experience between how Toyota takes care of you and how Chevrolet or General Motors takes care of you. And I think he made some good points. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.